new iPhone comes out, and usually the thing that everybody's most excited about is the new camera. So, to test it, I recently went on a little road trip, but instead of bringing my professional camera, I decided to only use the iPhone 16 Pro. The reason for that is that when you review the new iPhone every year, you eventually end up taking the same shots in the same places, same angles, because you know they'll turn out good. So this year I decided to push my limits and the iPhone's limits by changing the scenery completely and taking some new shots. But before we dive into the video, if you end up enjoying it, why not subscribe? As I said, I didn't even bring my professional camera with me, it was just the iPhone 16 Pro and me completely relying on this phone to capture everything and seeing how far it could go in a real-world situation. The idea was to see if I could completely rely on this phone to capture all the memories without having the feeling that I missed out on something by not bringing my usual photography gear. And spoiler, I didn't regret it. Fun fact, I actually started my photography journey with the iPhone 5S that came back in 2013, I think. They heavily marketed the camera, which sold me on one, and to justify the purchase, I started using the camera non-stop and learning new things, so that's what got me into photography. The best part about using the iPhone 16 Pro as my main camera was how quick and easy it was to pull out and shoot. I wasn't constantly worrying about lenses, settings, or whether I had packed the right lenses and equipment. It allowed me to be more in the moment, and that's something that I really appreciated on this road trip. It made me rethink how much we sometimes overcomplicate things with professional gear. Carrying a big camera can sometimes be a burden. Setting up shots, finding the right lenses, but the iPhone made everything feel spontaneous and effortless. And even though I wasn't stressing about each shot like I would with the professional camera, it still delivered decent quality. For example, let's take this picture of my car. We started packing to drive back home, and as I'm starting to drive off, there was a beautiful sunset. Normally, I wouldn't even think of taking a picture there, because the road was quite busy and I'd have to take a few minutes to set up my professional camera with all the settings. But with the iPhone, I just parked sideways on the road, ran out of the car with my iPhone in the hand, took the shot and ran back to the car. My girl in the car couldn't stop laughing at me. And surprisingly, it turned out well, and now I have a funny story. Or when we stopped at the scenic overlook, it was so easy to quickly snap a few shots and get back to enjoy the view. It took away the pressure of being perfect with every shot and just let me enjoy the experience. One thing I realized during this trip is how much I started using the camera control button. At first, I found it pretty annoying, it's not great for most functions. But I started appreciating it for one specific reason. It's fantastic for quickly opening the camera. No matter what I was doing on the phone, I could just press it and it would open the camera from anywhere in the system. I didn't have to lock the phone or minimize the apps to go look for the camera app. For spontaneous moments, this button is actually really useful. There's one more thing though. After the road trip, I updated to the beta version of iOS 18.1, and in that version, Apple lets you deactivate some features of the camera control button, for example like swiping or tapping on this button. So you can't deactivate everything but opening the app with this button, which is what I did. That being said, I still find this button frustrating for most other things, but for camera access alone, it saved me quite some times and allowed me to be more in the moment. Like for example with this picture of this cat that randomly came out of the bushes and ran back. Now let's talk about the results. Quick note, this isn't a technical review of the iPhone 16 Pro camera, I've already covered that in a separate video, so if you're interested in a very detailed review of the camera, you could just watch that. This video is more about how it feels to use the iPhone 16 Pro in a real-world scenario. The iPhone delivered solid shots even in tricky lighting conditions. It's not on the same level as a professional camera, obviously it's still very hungry for light since it's a small sensor, especially the telephoto lens, which is my favorite, but it was good enough that I didn't miss my professional camera. The dynamic range and the colors were decent, especially during the golden hour shots. Some shots turned out a bit grainy, but that's expected with a phone camera. Overall, the photos were more than enough for social media or even personal memories. I could also easily print some of these. Same goes for videos. Actually, for videos, it's even better. ProRes lock really pushes the limits of this camera, given at least somewhat light. It manages to produce videos so good that I could easily mix them in with footage shot on my Sony camera, and nobody would ever notice. The new 48-megapixel ultra-wide lens was a highlight. It allowed me to capture expansive landscape shots that looked really good for a phone camera. And the ease of switching between lenses was a game changer for keeping things quick and seamless. No other phone does it like the iPhone when it comes to switching lenses seamlessly. After the trip, I threw some of these photos into Lightroom for some quick edits. Honestly, the iPhone already processes images really well because of new photographic styles which let you dial back the fake HDR, so it didn't really need much editing. I mainly adjusted the colors to my liking and the photos were ready to share. I know some of you might be wondering, can the iPhone replace a real camera on a trip, let's say? In some ways, yes, if you're shooting on ideal lighting conditions and on the main lens, it's definitely more convenient for casual shooting and everyday moments, but for professional level shoots, you'd still need a real proper camera. That being said, this thing really lets you be in the moment and enjoy it, without you having to be afraid of missing on some cool shots. One thing I didn't even think about until the end was the battery life. I was shooting all day, navigating, streaming music in the car, and at no point I was anxious about battery life. It just worked seamlessly, and that was a huge bonus, especially since I wasn't carrying any extra power banks. In the end, using the iPhone 16 Pro for the entire road trip was a refreshing experience. It was so convenient and fun to use that I didn't miss my professional camera whatsoever. It let me stay present in the moment while still getting great photos to remember the trip by. So while the iPhone 16 Pro camera has its obvious limitations, it really shined in this situation. If you're considering using the iPhone 16 Pro as your main camera on casual road trips or outings, I can confidently say that it's up to the task. And by the way, if you want to know everything about the right camera settings and how to use your camera to get professional looking shots out of the iPhone, I've got a video on that too, so be sure to check it out. If you're curious about the more technical side of things, check out my full camera review of the iPhone 16 Pro, or if you're interested more in things like battery life, build quality, you can check the full review of the iPhone 16 Pro itself on my channel. If you enjoyed this video, make sure to hit the like button and subscribe for more videos. With that said, thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.